Yasrala, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasrala, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Bahasarachai Kodash. I'm going to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Also want to say peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect, house of high spirit wind Judah. Title, the history of leadership. Now I'm going to go into a particular point in history, all right, going into the effect of the Haitian Revolution, all right, because by the end of the Haitian Revolution, which is around 1809, thousands of people from Haiti, whether it was the Edomite French, all right, whether it was enslaved Jake or free Jake, all right, thousands of so-called Haitians, all right, came to New Orleans, all right, thus doubling the population of New Orleans, okay, thus doubling the population of New Orleans, okay, and this, like I said, this is around 1809, and if you travel to New Orleans today, all right, which I've been, several times, all right, given my location, okay, New Orleans has a mixed history, all right, whether it's the Cajun, all right, the Creole, all right, the Spanish, all right, straight French, all right, or just straight Levite history, man. But it's a multicultural city, all right. There has a lot of museums, a lot of different restaurants from different cultures, all right. But and this is assessments that brothers have made over the years. This is assessments that I've made and I've researched and things that I've experienced, are things that I've observed. And I always wondered why, say, Lil Wayne looked the way he did when I was younger. Like, why do people from New Orleans look a certain way? All right, even people like C Murder, their eyes are arched a certain way, And I have reason to believe it's because either A, you're straight up Levite, you're straight up Haitian, all right, or B, you got that Creole French in you. You might be Judah, but like you got that Creole French. So even if you might be Judah, all right, the men of your family got with those Creole women. All right, which if you look it up, Creole goes into a mixture of, say, French, the natives, and say Levi, all right, or French. You have French natives, the Levi, or French natives, Judah is like a mixture, all right. But if you go into, say, my family history, two things happen on both sides of my family, my father and the mother, all right. The men got with the so-called natives. So whether we're talking about the earlier 20th century, but usually it might be a Judite, all right, man, or a Levite man, maybe even a Benjamite man, but they usually are attracted to what? Them Gadite women, all right? Or in a sense of Louisiana, they might have been attracted to those so-called Creole women, which was probably Gadite, Gadite French, but Gadite on the father, Nonetheless, that's my speculation, but nonetheless, it's proven on both sides of my family, coming from the South, Mississippi, all right, that basically something that would happen as a pattern is the men would get with, say, Gadite women. So a lot of times in our family history, they may say, yeah, you got Native American on your mama's side, and your mama was this, all right, but your great-granddaddy was a tall, dark-skinned black man, So I was talking to my father, must have been Wednesday, and he was giving me, a rundown on his father, which we call Papa, all right, before he passed away. And I knew that, my Papa was from, I lost connection for a bit, but long story, my father was giving me the rundown grandfather, because I found out that his grandfather was from my father's grandfather, which would be my great-grandfather, was from New Orleans. I'm like, whoa, so we straight up got Haitian in our family. That's what I responded to him with. He was like, yeah, the men, your great-grandfather he was basically saying he was Haitian. and his mother was Creole, you know. And I think, and basically what he was telling me that I have a thick Haitian and Creole background on my father's side, but the men, all right, the men will be, the men was Haitian. He was like, your great grandfather's people, all right, they moved to Mississippi when they were in it, but they look Haitian. So that's why I realized, I knew, you know, that confirmed certain things that brothers would say about me, like, nah, bro, you're not Judah, you Levi, you know? 8 out of 10 brothers, you know, from different counts, they were like, you're a Levite, you know? And knowing my family history on my father's side, you know, recently, it just confirmed it, yeah. You know, I'm a Levite, you see? Certain things you see in the spirit, but, you know, it's a double treat, a blessing to sort of get things confirmed, you see? People, you know, you know, ask me, like, am I from Africa and all that? And I'm like, no, I'm not from Africa. You know, I'm not a Hamite per se, but I know why they asked that, because I got more distinctive features, you see? But I, you know, that's further reason to believe that I'm a Levite, okay? And when I found this out historically, I just had a lot of excitement in my spirit, like, whoa, like, you know, for a fact, you know, even if you may say, well, you never know, but generally, you know, if you're from New Orleans, and then, you know, my father straight up telling me that my great grandfather's people, they were basically Haitian, and they look Haitian, you know, then you connect that with, you know, spiritual things about yourself, then it aligns with, you know, what things you've been told in the spirit. So it's basically not spirit wind Judah, it's spirit wind Levi. All right. But that is something that I found interesting, you know. And, you know, typically you know certain, you're not gonna know everything into the kingdom, but, you know, that pretty much seals it for me, you know. But once again, at the end of the so-called Haitian Revolution, all right, at the end of the so-called Haitian Revolution, okay, Levi, all right, migrated to New Orleans, and that doubled the population of New Orleans. Not just Levi, but the Edomites that was there, all right, free Jake that was there. There's a lot of free Jakes on the island of Haiti. There were also enslaved Jakes on the island of Haiti. If you go into the research, there were natives on the island of Haiti, which were of the Northern Kingdom, right? And it just brings me to certain experiences going back to, say, 2000, I want to say 2005, the year of Hurricane Katrina, all right? It was my sophomore year in high school. And given the fact that we were in Jackson, Mississippi at the time, all right, a lot of Jakes from New Orleans traveled to Mississippi. They were dispersed, all right, everywhere, to Houston, Chicago, Atlanta. But one of the places that Jake stopped for, you know, they stopped at was Jackson. And the spirit of Jackson changed when Jake came to New Orleans. I think that happened everywhere, because Jake had a different mentality, all right? Jake had different rules. They were governed by different laws in New Orleans, more lenient laws, all right? But the spirit of Jackson changed. But I noticed that some of my classmates, hindsight, they looked straight up Haitian. And of course they had the accent, the Creole accent. And of course, you know, we know beautiful brothers from the New Orleans camp, you know, beautiful brothers from New Orleans camp, you know. But these particular Jake going back 2005, you know, leaving New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, all right, I noticed that they did look distinctive, all right. Then they say that the Jakes that were in Mississippi, I noticed they also had a different spirit. One thing I noticed about Levi, all right, just from my personal experiences, they seem a little sophisticated per se. Even if they hood or they from the hood or whatever, they just kind of seem a little sophisticated. they may seem a little aloof in a sense, like we're kind of up here, not in a bad way, but I just noticed that about Levi. They seem somewhat sophisticated, like they're not with the basic stuff, you know. One thing I noticed about Levi too, they could go from 0 to 100, you know. And you have the 12 tribes, they all can be that, you know. One thing I know about Levi, when they know they're right in a situation, all right, they go from 0 to 100, and they could come off as unpredictable, you know. But that makes me think about the Haitian revolt, okay? But like I said, going back to my classmates, my temporary classmates back in, say, 2005, 2006, you know, when they came to Jackson, man, all right, the spirit of Jackson changed, man. And I think it's every city, because now all of a sudden your city was flooded with so-called Haitians, all right, from Little Haiti, all right, with a different mentality, because they was raised in a different type of environment, but also they just had a different spirit, man. Like I said, you get amongst the tribes, you see distinctions between this tribe and that tribe, and so-called, not so-called, but the Jews. You see the distinction between, say, Judah and Levi. And I know you brothers have experienced it. You know, when I think of Levi, I think of Acon. You know, my assumption as a man is that he's probably a Levi. All right, the dark-skinned pretty boy. You know what I mean? That's another image that I think of, the archetype of Levi. So the dark-skinned pretty boy, short hair, wavy hair, you know, princely in their own way. You know, they're a little more put together. They're a little more clean cut than I would say Judah. And this is basically generalizations, you know. But I think about those distinctive features. I think about the eyes. You know, Levi, they got bigger eyes, you know. That's part of their signature, I would think. Like Lil Wayne is in his eyes, man. You know, people would say I look like Wyclef, you know. But I get it. But Wyclef's what? He's a so-called Haitian, you know? And I have reason to believe it's probably on my father and my mother's side, you know? But before a lot of Jakes settled in Mississippi, all right, they came from New Orleans. And a lot of Jakes that came from New Orleans, because of the so-called Haitian Revolution, at the end of it in 1809, a lot of Jakes came from Haiti. Like I said, if you go down there, you will see certain Jakes, and they come out just straight up Haitians. Then you have Judah mixed in there. You have Edomites out there. You know, you got so-called Creole out there, which is what they call a mixture of, say, the French, the so-called natives, and Jake. You know, but a lot of them are really just Jake with the native and French mother backgrounds, because typically men would gravitate to what? Those Gadite women. All right, but I'm quite sure a brother from New Orleans could get in more detail than I can. All right, but just being, you know, speaking in general. But once again, Levi typically got those distinctive features. A lot of times you can see it in the eyes, man. Those bold eyes, like I said, Lil Wayne, for example. All right, Birdman comes off as a straight up so-called Haitian, man. You know. It's the energy, it's the spirit, you know, even on the left-hand side. You know, going into the background, it says that Usher is from Haitian parents, Future is from Haitian parents. But even though they in the world and they 2/3, they sort of have a polished way about them. Even like I said, even if his world is it's a little more refined, I would think, than say Judah. You know, Judah is the one that's in authority, and I think one word that describes Judah is authority, king, you know, that dominance, all right, that influence, that innovation, that ingenuity, you know. But I think Levi is more like, well, biblically speaking, Levi is the priest. He's the counselor. He's the lawyer. A lot of brothers, I've talked to certain brothers, they're straight up Levi, all right? And they'll say when they was growing up, they wanted to be a lawyer. But what is Levi? He's the lawgiver, all right? Levi is very discerning. You know, Levi connect the dots with people. They sort of study people. They can kind of see they see the details in people, and that will make them so-called street smart in a lot of ways. All right, going into their behavior and their characteristics. Okay, but ultimately, on a spiritual level, Levi is joined to the Most High, and I believe the reason why Levi has that sophistication or that aloofness about them, because they're not supposed to be amongst the general population. Like I said, you got that wild Levi that everybody know about, that New Orleans spirit, you know. But then you also have that, like I said, the professor side of Levi, that sophisticated side of Levi, that aloof could come off and stand off the side of Levi, because really Levi is not supposed to be amongst that general population. Scripturally speaking, they're supposed to be, they will settle in what? The suburbs. All right. But the things that I'm saying, some of it I pull from the scriptures, some of the things I pull from my own observations, some of it I pull from, you know, talking to brothers, man. All right, that may be straight up Levi or whatever it may have you. All right, studying Jake, you know, seeing patterns in brothers. Levi could come off as nerdy. They're like the nerdy, you know, like I said, the professor, the counselor, the lawyer. All right, the priest. All right. A lot of Levites I know personally, they're not all that outgoing, right? They're more like homebound because they're in the temple. A lot of brothers that may be straight up Levi, they heavy in the light incense. They more into the incense thing, man. And this doesn't count for all brothers, but a lot of brothers that are Levites, all right, they have really clean apartments. They have really clean temples. Not all, you know, but that's one characteristic I know about Levi. Brothers that straight up is already confirmed they Levi. They really into the temple, man. So it's really pristine when you come in. All right. Like I said, they're into incense. All right. They're well dressed. You know, like I said, they're kind of like if I had to make a stereotype, it's like the dark skinned pretty boy, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like Akon. I said a lot of Levites have those distinctive facial features. The eyes, those bold eyes, those dominant eyes, okay? Like I said, Levi is sort of withdrawn in a sense, but on the other flip side, Levi has a 0 to 100 spirit. You know, if something triggers them, you know? But, hey, going back, man, on my grandfather's side, man, they came straight from New Orleans, all right? And like I said, that intrigued me because you have characteristics and behaviors that may distinguish you from the people you're around. Then, you know, then you come into the truth, and brothers make these assessments of you about your spirit and your possible tribe. The next thing you know, you get it confirmed through your actual father, which was a blessing through the spirit to be able to communicate with my father. You know, not growing up with my father, but, you know, and being able to communicate with him, getting a rundown on the past, you know. But that is something that I want to put on record as like a record keeper in the spirit, man. You know, the tribe of Levi, man. All right. But like I said, you know, Judah is known to be deep in the South. All right. But also there's a presence of Levi in the South. All right. There's a presence of Benjamin in the South. We have a brother in the camp who we have reason to believe he's a straight up Benjamite. All right. And the way he grew up, it reminds me of Jake from like Scotland or Ireland, just kind of on the outside of the city. If you've ever seen the movie Snatched, hold on, let me pull up at this security gate right quick. Have you ever seen the movie Snatch? I think Brad Pitt was playing like a Scottish or the Irish. I forget at this point. But basically, that was like in the mobile homes aspect of it. And that was like on the outskirts of the city. But that was kind of rough around the edges, you know? But you got Jakes in rural areas in Mississippi. They got that wild Scottish, Irish spirit, but they in the country, you know, the rural area, it's on the outskirts, but they got that same Benjamite spirit, but it is classified as country. All right, but it's really got that Benjamite spirit, you know, love to drink, you know, could be boisterous, could be wild, you know. But you know, with that, I hope you brothers and sisters was edified. I want to do something else in my spirit. You know, it's pertaining to the tribes, specifically Levi, and pertaining to myself through the spirit. With that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. To the next time, shalom.